Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us first here at 4. I'm Zach Grady. We begin today with Tropical Depression Debbie pushing her way through our area and leaving behind what is expected to be a costly cleanup. Take a look here. This is video shared with us by the Trout Run Hotel in Tioga County, Pennsylvania. Tioga County is under a flood warning. You can see the fast current ripping through the parking lot area of the hotel. This is also in Tioga County, Pennsylvania, in Trout Run. The water in certain areas appears in this video and photos shared by Callie Roan to be well over a foot deep. As you can imagine, roads are closed, and if you live near any body of water, you are urged to move out of the higher grounds. Let's get right to the details now. Howard is outside as we speak for our first look at our weather. We throw it over to you, Howard. What is going on at the moment? So, as you can see, weather playing effect with us as well. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties right now. We will get back to Howard before the end of the 4 o'clock here. But in case you need any information or need first alerts, make sure to head over to our Storm Track app. As well, if you have photos, make sure to share them with us at photos.bng.com. If you see any damage, don't forget to send those our way. And as you can see here, the QR code is on your screen. Check it out, download it. If you need first alert information at all at any point today, head on over to the Storm Track 12 app. As the rest of the Empire State braces for severe weather through the weekend, Governor Kathy Hochul announcing on Friday $2.5 million in funding to help build up the Long Island coastline. Hochul said that they are investing $2.5 million to restore the Ditch Plains coastline and keep the East Hampton community safe from devastating weather events. Hochul said she has requested a major declaration of a disaster from the president after tornadoes, heavy rain, and flooding on July 10th and 11th caused major damages to communities throughout upstate New York. Hochul said that the funding from the federal government will help New Yorkers rebuild from severe weather events.
I'm here today because I will continue my commitment to protecting our beaches, our shorelines, and making sure that as these threats continue and they're becoming more ferocious, that we will make the investments now so future generations know that we cared and we made a difference.
And this is actually just in as well, this breaking news. Governor Hochul recently declaring a statewide state of emergency as the remnants of Debbie have begun to cause severe flooding throughout communities in the Empire State. Stay tuned. This is a developing story. We will have more information both at 5, 5:30, and 6 o'clock. Elsewhere in New York, the North Country, a flood watch is in effect as the remnants of Hurricane Debbie move towards the area, likely bringing several inches of rain with it. In and around Lowville, village and county workers were busy filling sandbags all day on Thursday. Officials say getting ahead of the storm was the priority after the flash flooding from early July. And New York State Metro Transit Authority also preparing for the remnants of Debbie. A flood watch is in effect for the area until 1 a.m. on Saturday. Officials are not anticipating a repeat of Tuesday, where cars could be seen floating in rain waters. But the Big Apple area may see some flooding, especially in the areas north and west of New York City.
Confident. We've inspected our equipment, we inspected our track drains, we inspected our known flood areas, that we should have a smooth transition to the storm with no issues.
A wind advisory is also in place for New York City, Long Island, and parts of the lower Hudson Valley, central and southern New Jersey, and as well coastal Connecticut until 6 a.m. Saturday for gusts that could be up to 50 miles per hour. Debbie's still posing a potential lethal threat with heavy rains, tornadoes, and flooding, as well the death toll continuing to rise. It is now at 7 after a woman was killed by a falling tree in North Carolina. CNN's Laura Aguirre has more as state officials up the East Coast continue to warn their residents of Debbie's looming danger.
everything kind of shook in the room.
Employees of this Delaware Acme store had just seconds to take cover in the back.
That tornado came through, took some of the roof off, did a lot of damage.
The National Weather Service confirmed it was an EF1 twister that swept through, powered by Debbie's still dangerous and destructive winds.
Luckily, everybody was safe. Everybody got out.
The Northeast is squarely in Debbie's sights Friday. The storm initially gained strength over land Thursday, tearing through the Carolinas after a second landfall.
We're preparing for what's coming, preparing for about 4 feet of water.
Millions of people from South Carolina to Maryland are under the threat of tornadoes, damaging winds, or flooding into the early evening.
Please remember that the worst of the rain could come after dark. Remain vigilant.
Sometimes there is no road under what appears to be a small amount of water over the pavement.
A hazard visible in places where Debbie's waters have receded a bit. In the southeast, many rain-swollen rivers have reached flood stage and could stay high for days to come, keeping swift water rescue teams busy, like this one in Raleigh, North Carolina, that plucked 3 young children to safety Thursday.
And I was really scary because at the end, Kelly was like, she was barely holding on, and then the rescue team came just in time.
Debbie's advance into upper New England Friday is expected to be the storm's final blow. It'll move off the U.S. coast sometime Saturday, leaving a mark that could take months, if not years, to heal. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
2 teens are facing charges after Ithaca police say they were attacked by another kid with a machete. According to police, a call went out just after 7 last night for reports of an assault along the 200 block of Elmira Road. Officials say a 15 and 17-year-old assaulted the victim and used a machete during the attack. They were charged and released to their parents. The victim sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Ithaca Police Department. As well, a man is facing assault charges in Tioga County after officials say he stabbed someone at a McDonald's. According to the Tioga County Sheriff, the assault happened around 11 last night at the fast food place on Hickory's Park Road in Owego. 21-year-old Roman Miranda allegedly stabbed the victim with a knife. The victim is in stable condition. Miranda is locked up in Tioga County on a $20,000 cash or bond. And a new report from Bankrate finds 6 in 10 Americans have a negative view on tipping. In this Watching Your Wallet consumer investigator, Rachel DePalma talks about a financial expert and the do's and don'ts on how technology is changing how we tip.
35% of Americans in this new Bankrate survey say the tipping culture in America is out of control. And that's up 5 percentage points from last year. Ted Rossman with Bankrate says a lot of people are annoyed about those pre-enter tip screens that pop up at coffee shops, food trucks, and elsewhere.
There's a lot of tip creep that goes on, as in being asked to tip in unconventional settings. And sometimes that leads to guilt tipping, where you say yes, even though you didn't really want to, but you hit 15 or 20% on the terminal. A lot of times people leave feeling negative about these kind of experiences. And a lot of people, in fact, about 4 in 10, think that businesses should just pay their staff better.
Inflation is a big part of this story because people already feel so squeezed. Prices are up, money is tight, and the tip is just one more thing, sort of a hidden surcharge at the end of a purchase.
I do think we should separate places where we ought to be tipping, like restaurants and hair salons and barbershops, from places where it is more optional. I don't think you always need to tip at the counter when you're just picking up a sandwich or a coffee. But if you're not tipping well at a restaurant, that's a big deal because the federal tipped minimum wage is $2.13 an hour.
Rossman says waiters and waitresses rely on these tips. He says what surprised him most, only a third of Gen Zers who go to sit-down restaurants are always tipping. Only about half of millennials are always tipping at restaurants, where it's much higher for the older generations. 78% of Gen X and 80% of boomers are always tipping at restaurants. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePalma.
Despite all the back-to-school talk, summer is still here, but Walmart and other retailers are ready for Halloween. Many big boxes are getting ready for the spooky season even earlier than before. Michael says it started with Halloween merchandise in June. The arts and crafts store, says the launch of its seasonal collections are driven by consumer demand. Meanwhile, Home Depot started selling its Halloween directions online as early as April, also fueled by high demand. But some stores won't start stocking shelves until around Labor Day. And a major ad industry group is shutting down just days after it was sued by Elon Musk's social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. The lawsuit claimed that the Global Alliance for Responsible Media illegally conspired to boycott advertising on the platform formerly known as Twitter. It accused the group of organizing to block billions of dollars of ad revenue over its concern about a change in the brand's safety standards since Musk acquired it in 2022. Also known as GARM, the group is a nonprofit initiative that aims to help brands keep their kids from appearing ads alongside illegal or harmful content. GARM announced it plans to shut down in a statement released on Friday, saying the allegations have significantly drained its resources and finances. GARM confirmed it is still planning, though, to defend itself in court. We are going to head over now as Howard is joining us here inside. Howard, we're in the weather center instead of being outside. I'm sure that the weather outside had something to do with it. What's going on here in the southern tier?
Well, we still have a flood watch in effect across the area here. Reminder that the creeks and streams and rivers are still going to be rising. In fact, meteorologist Connor Thompson just let me know that there's a flood warning in effect for Trout Creek where major flooding was occurring. Major flood stage was reached on Trout Creek. So, again, we're going to see all this runoff from the heavy rain. Will sometimes take a couple hours or an hour at least to reach, the reservoir that it's headed for. Tornado watch remains in effect for Delaware County. Again, I suspect this will be discontinued well before 10 o'clock. Rainfall reports as of earlier this afternoon, anywhere from, 1.7 in Cincinnatus. That probably come up a little bit, to 3.3 in Shenango. I suspect that came up a little bit as well. So, again, we expected this. There's a look at the flash flood warnings in effect. Eastern Broome, Delaware, northeastern Pennsylvania, Tioga, Tompkins. I mean, this is, almost county-wide flash flood warnings because of what's going on out there. Some heavy rain still coming in a band, just essentially south of Norwich, maybe up toward Mount Upton way, and still some rain down in northeastern Pennsylvania, but things will quiet down substantially. We'll take a look at the rest of your forecast in just a little bit.
Thank you, Howard. And still to come here at 4. These days, students may not have to tote around as many textbooks, but all the other supplies can make their book bags still very heavy. Doctors say long-term damage isn't likely, but too much weight can cause pains and strains. We hear from an expert after the break, but before we...
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nanny gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
A new day is dawning for people in rural America.
HughesNet is reinventing satellite internet.
We just launched Jupiter 3, the world's largest commercial communications satellite, which gives you unlimited data and faster speeds.
With the new HughesNet, you can do it all. Connect, stream, and play wherever you live.
Don't wait. Call or go online now.
Hello. I'm Josh Riley, and here's the deal. On the border, I've opposed the president, and I'll fight for real solutions. More agents, stronger enforcement, and laws that are tough and fair.
Democratic candidate for Congress, Josh Riley, is demanding that career politicians secure the border.
I approve this message because for me, it's not about party. It's about doing right by upstate New York.
Breaking news here in Metro Atlanta.
This is a hostage situation.
Rethink how you get breaking news.
With Local News Live, you get the big national stories direct from local reporters. Reporters who know the streets and the people. Authentic, unfiltered, live where the story is. Stay close, stay connected, because the big breaking stories are best told by those who live it.
Local News Live, always streaming on all 12 News digital platforms.
We're the Sven Squad from Svengoolie.
Spangooli, part of Super Sci-Fi Saturday Night.
On MeTV, we're not in the movie. We're just kind of around the movie.
And after Spangooli...
Holy clockwork, what next?
You'll see a Caped Crusader, Captain Kirk, Kolchak, and a collection of classic sci-fi. The corpse in me is just dying to see them. Corpse?
And no one can talk to a corpse, of course, unless, of course, the
No
famous...
talking during the show.
Sorry.
Super Sci-Fi Saturday nights on Binghamton's MeTV.
Have you ever seen this man before?
Hi. They're a tag team of legal eagles.
My name is Mason.
Ben Matlock. A duo of courtroom commanders.
Are you sure?
And they're both part of the...
Objection?
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection.
Objection Connection.
Your witness, Mr. Berger.
Gotcha.
So put a little habeas in your corpus with Ben and Barry.
Weekdays starting at 9 a.m. on Binghamton's MeTV.
No further questions.
Back to school is right around the corner, and 12 News wants to help once again with our annual backpack drive. You can drop off a backpack at the Serve Pro on Conklin Ave in Binghamton, Enwell Family Physicians, Hatala Orthodontics, and some Tioga State Bank locations. Backpacks will be distributed from Catholic Charities Food Pantry in Binghamton. For more details, as always, visit our website, WBNG.com. And from binders to notebooks, paper and pencils, all the stuff students squish into their bags can make the school day feel a little bit heavy, whether you're one strapping or two. And while doctors say long-term damage isn't likely, too much weight can cause pain and strains. Doctors say one of the easiest ways to measure if a backpack fits properly is to measure from the bump at the bottom of the neck to the top of the hip. To help protect against injuries, backpacks should have two broad padded straps as well, multiple compartments, and having a chest strap or waist strap also a good idea.
A backpack that doesn't fit correctly or that weighs too much, though, can cause muscle strains, back pain, and even numbness and tingling.
Doctors say to encourage children to pack only the things that they need for the day to cut down on unnecessary weight. And if a child is complaining of back pain, not to brush it off, since there could be other causes of the pain. Doctors say it is always best to consult a physician. Feels like it's been the fall more than the summer this week, as we've been talking about back to school and Halloween, but we will check in one more time with Chief Meteorologist Howard Manges. Howard, I know you guys have been busy all day. What's going on?
Yeah, we have. Well, I can tell you that the worst of this storm is now over for us in terms of rainfall, but we're still dealing with some leftover effects of the very heavy rain that indeed did fall. There's a look at the storm right now. It is pushing well up into, well, the North Country right now. As we zoom in just a little closer, again, the center of circulation is really picked up speed, and now it's, I'm going to say it's just to the northeast of Utica. And again, that's really good news because the heavy rain is over for our entire viewing area. Still some downpours coming in eastern Delaware County. But look at the flash flood warnings from central New York back into the Catskills, northeastern Pennsylvania, and even a severe thunderstorm still in effect up in the North Country. Coming in a little bit closer, you notice that a couple cracks of thunder into the Catskills, but that severe threat, the tornado threat, is pretty much over. It was going to be mainly along the line, the leading edge of that line. Still some heavy downpours coming in a narrow strip of it through Otsego and down in through southeastern Shenango County, as well as northeastern Pennsylvania. So some of these, some of those showers are still moving and kind of training over the same areas. So that's why I think we're still not out of the woods yet across the entire area. Look at the storm damage reports across western Delaware, Broome County, northern Susquehanna County. Again, we did just get a report. There's a flood warning in effect for Trout Creek. It is major flooding is occurring right now. And then also just meteorologist Connor Thompson just showed me that the Susquehanna River in Vestal is forecast to be just under moderate flood stage. So high-end minor flood stage is forecast in Vestal. So good news. Minor flooding, again, isn't a problem around most of these areas because of previous floods that we've had. You get up into moderate and then major, which we're not expecting. That's when you start having what we refer to as impactful. But boy, talk about impactful over in Tioga County, Pennsylvania. I was listening to the scanner there and some storm reports. 2 rescue personnel were stranded along with 2 citizens that were rescued. Numerous homes have been dislodged or damaged as a result of flooding in the valley over that way. And one that just gave me absolute chills was this. Catastrophic flooding in the town of Westfield. They had helicopters were requested. Water rescues were underway. Heard multiple reports on the scanner of people in the water. Vehicles, submerged. Homes submerged. This one, elderly resident rescued from a submerged home. Just absolutely horrible situation. It's not much better right now. These were as of 3:45 power outages. Wow. I mean, that's a significant chunk of folks here in the area that are without power right now. Again, we'll have an update for these on 12 News at 5. But that tornado watch remains in effect for Delaware County until 10. I suspect that will be taken down well before that. So flash flooding is still a threat. Although it's not raining anymore, remember, it takes time for waters to reach their peak because all that runoff has to run into those reservoirs. Rivers are rising rapidly, as we mentioned there, and the heavy rain is pretty much out of our area. Temperatures 70s. It warmed up quickly, and it also got quite windy with that sun coming out. 70-degree dew points. There's a look at the current gusts. Yeah, pretty gusty off to the east. So, again, there could be some, local issues with power, as we've seen. This evening, showing the scattered shower activity coming to an end. By tomorrow morning, much quieter. Tomorrow looks like a really nice day. Sunshine and some clouds. And, again, a little note on the rivers. They are going to look ugly. They're going to turn really chocolatey, and then they're also going to be rising quickly. But again, as of this time, no moderate or major flooding is forecast anywhere in the area. Again, we'll have a further update coming up tonight on 12 News at 5.
Thank you. We'll make sure to keep tuned in throughout the day. And we have one final story for you coming up after the break, but here's a sneak peek of what's next on Investigate TV Plus.
Today on Investigate TV Plus, teens addicted to drugs or alcohol and parents don't know where to turn.
An in-depth look at recovery high schools and how they're putting teens on a path toward a sober and successful future.
In everything I do,
I'm gonna dominate this season.
Work hard, don't complain.
This is going to be the best year
Take it in,
yet.
and give it all out.
Well, damn, let's just get it started.
I'm trying to reclaim my life, but so much of it is gone.
You got me.
Except the things you cannot change.
I did what you asked. You told me to make a choice.
All-American Homecoming. New episode this Monday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
Attention, if you have Medicaid and live in New York and need assistance with daily living, you can receive a 100% free service and get help in the comfort of your own home by a loved one. Call Freedom Care now so you can receive daily help preparing meals, bathing, doing laundry, receiving transportation, and more. All done by a family member or friend that gets paid to be your caregiver. You get to decide who provides your care, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. It's all funded by Medicaid, so it's 100% free to you. Call in the next 10 minutes to see if you qualify. The Freedom Care family will explain the process, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. Freedom Care is #1 in New York and has received over 4,000 five-star reviews. They've been helping families for years. This service is 100% free to you through Medicaid. So call right now and see how fast you can get started with Freedom Care.
Call 1-607-228-8129 or go to freedomcare.com.
At Every Cat's Dream, we believe that every animal, no matter their condition, deserves to find their forever home. We work closely with local veterinarians to rehabilitate all of our rescues and ensure that their health is in good standing before adoption. Our facility houses upwards of 80 cats and kittens, with over 700 brought in every year. Come find your feline best friend today.
Is this the worst road rage ever?
Next in Sun Edition, rampage on the highway. Good Samaritans try to take down a knife-wielding driver. One gets stabbed. Another is run over. This man saw it all.
Got up on the windshield, started bashing on it.
Then, over-the-top sorority recruitment videos. Watch the next in Sun Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on WBNG.
We're going to take one more look at the weather, but before we do, while not everyone loves retirement parties at work, TSA threw one yesterday that everyone would want to attend. Homeland Security explosive K9 detection dog Barrow is trading in his badge for a bone after nearly a decade on the job. Barrow has been working with his partner, Agent Lawrence Sharp, since 2017 at the Pittsburgh airport. A retirement party was thrown in his honor, and Barrow will now spend his golden years alongside Agent Sharp, who says they'll be taking a seaside vacation very soon. And we're going to head over now and check in with Howard at the Weather Center one more time to make sure that Barrow's seaside vacation is not rained out.
Yeah, well, it won't be. It's that storm is well out of that area. But if you just did miss the full forecast, best news I can give you is the heavy rain is gone. The area-wide rain that caused, widespread flash flooding here today has moved on. We're just left over with some trailing showers into Delaware County, northern Wayne County, also parallel to the I-88 corridor just over into Otsego County. Now, again, notice some of those bands are kind of moving over the same area, so there could still be some localized reinforcing rainfall to cause some additional flash flooding. But in terms of the massive flash flooding, things are getting much better by the hour as we move through this evening. So that's the best news I can give you. We are going to be looking at a much quieter day ahead to this weekend. There's a look at that 7-day forecast one more time. Yeah, tomorrow, beautiful. Maybe a small chance of a sprinkle, but we're looking at temperatures in the mid-70s, and then as we look through the rest of that 7-day forecast, we'll be in the mid to upper 70s. I'll have another look at your 7-day forecast, a new 7-day forecast, coming up on 12 News at 5.
And that's going to do it for us here on 12 News at 4. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can always visit WBNG.com or download the Storm Track app. We'll see you in about a half hour.